All right, let's take a few seconds and give people time to jump in the room as we jump into this Accountability Wednesday. Let me go ahead and pop this up real quick. Boom, bang, pow. We got somebody's stomach live on TV. Long hair don't care. It's all good. So now, now that we got you on here, we can talk a little bit. And if whoever want to get their W out the way first, since it ain't nobody watching yet, right now is the time. If you got an L, if this is a bad L, you may want to put it out there right now. If you got a bad L, somebody slapped you, something crazy happened, somebody slapped the camera out your hand. If you got one, speak now before the audience build. Oh, everybody got W's this week? Oh, go ahead, go for it.
Hey, what's going on, Ty? What's going on, FlashFilm?
What's going on?
Hey, this is Earl out in San Diego. I got to win. I've only been on the platform for about a week, but I got to win.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, one of the pastors from one of the churches out here hosted a business ministry event, and they hit me up this morning, let me know the mayor of a certain city is going to be there, and would you, record and do all the videography for this event?
That's huge, bro.
Yeah. So it's more for the exposure because it's for church. So obviously, nobody charges church. I'd be wrong. But so
double.
I'll pray for you.
They get a I want a blessing and they get in the bill. I want it both.
Hey, if nothing else,
but that's my win.
That's a good
consultant. Hey, be a consultant.
That's right. That's a good win. That's a good win, especially if you get a chance to get in front of the mayor and his people and just the people that it's gonna bring in. Make sure you got shirts and everything. You got your branded. Yep. Make sure you're super branded for stuff like this. I can't tell you how many times. I'll give you an example. I shot some stuff for Raising Cane's once, and whenever they do new store openings, if it's in a small city, the mayor come out. So one time we shot some stuff at Raising Cane's, and it was in a smaller city around Texas, and the mayor and the head of their newspaper came out, and I ended up meeting the head of the newspaper and the mayor, and I ended up hiring my company to stream a live event for a mayoral race for the city and the newspaper. So I ended up getting that really high paying gig simply just by being there with Raising Cane's. And they just asked us, do we live stream? I'm like, yeah. Got his card. I talked to him 2 times. I don't even know if the guy really went to my website or not. We sent him a bill, went out and did it, and everything was nice. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that we had our stuff together. We had our brand. I was parking my truck out front, you know what I mean? Because I was using it as for marketing purposes. So I was parking everything out front. And we were, because of that, we got the attention. And it was pretty dope.
Sure.
It was pretty dope.
Yes, sir.
So definitely take advantage of that. Keep you a bunch of cards in your back pocket and, get important pictures of everybody that's important and get a card and be like, hey, can I send you this picture? That's how I used to work my way in. Can I send you this picture? Sure. Get their card and send them that picture along with links to, my information. So yeah, definitely. Daniel, I know you got your hand up. Go for it, bro.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Got one. It was a drone. It was like a small job, but it's with the Part 107 drone gig, taking photos of a storage unit. And they're using that to, of course, like for marketing and stuff, taking pictures. The other one I'm trying to close. We have a meeting next, when is April 6th? April the 7th, I think. Let me double check. The 8th, April 8th. That's a Monday. Yeah. It's a church corporate event, I'll put it like that. It's 5 days camp, kids and everything. So I'm making sure I do a background check with that as well. Also trying to close them because that's a big one. And it's like their annual event that they do every year. And they want a promotional video. I think 20 interviews and everything. So walking them through it and everything, and they're going back and forth and adding, and I want this, I don't want this, I want this again, I don't want this. So just patiently walking them through it and no rushing that.
Let me ask you a question, because I know you charge in the church, right?
Yes,
Okay,
it's
and
it's not really church.
okay,
It's a faith-based college
okay,
in
okay.
Alabama. It's Stanford, so trying to close with them as well.
See, Earl, you can charge the church. It's okay.
Yes.
You just gotta, you know what I'm saying? But good thing that you talked about that's something that we pointed to a lot that'll help you get the deal. Is when working around kids, you want to make sure you have a background check that you provide in your proposal, as well as anybody on your staff or team. And I kind of said a little bit, I think it was a while back. I'm not sure you're here or not, but I've landed jobs strictly off having that. Like simply because we took the effort to have that and our competitors didn't, it set us apart, especially when you work in that environment. I did some stuff with some schools. And it was a no-go. And like I said, do you know how embarrassing it would be? And I don't know if your schools do it, but our schools do a check. They scan your ID when you enter, and they check the state system to see if you have anything that come up quick, and you can be denied at the door. I
Mm.
would hate to have a team there and somebody get denied or somebody know nothing about. So yeah, that's a good W. How did you find out about that gig?
This was actually on Bark,
Okay.
and the guy reached out to me, and his same name as me, Daniel. So we kind of collaborated on that. Um, Now this one, they sent me an earlier project. I guess it was to see what I can do.
Hmm.
Um, it's a smaller project with interviews and everything. It's real simple, B-roll and everything. So I'm wrapping that up, and that's due within the next 2 weeks. So that was a pretty simple, easy W on that. So
I like that. I like that. Was it a lot of negotiating, or did he know what you
no,
just
they knew what they wanted on this one. It was real simple.
okay?
Just set up B-roll of the performance and everything because it was a faith-based musician who came and performed for the college kids,
Hmm.
and we got to capture that, and they're using that for content and everything.
Perfect. Perfect. Are you real quick? A question came up. I'll post the question came up about who do we use for our background check. I'll post the most previous company we use in the chat real quick for those that's watching on the app and those that's in the Zoom meeting. There you go. Um, yeah. So do you? This is the question. I mean, because I'm sure it's gonna be an ongoing thing with them. Building that relationship is important. Have you talked to them about how they plan on using the footage moving forward?
For the
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 in
smaller job or the bigger job?
the bigger job.
The bigger job, yes, they do. Basically, it's just a promote to annual event. That's all I'm doing is just not me, but my team.
Right.
Um, Doing B-roll, and they're using that to promote next year's event and everything.
Nice, nice. I like that. Well,
Yeah.
keep us posted, man. I'd love to hear how that goes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully I can. I'm trying to really close this because this is big.
yeah. That's life. That's life
Yeah,
changing right there.
yeah. And I was nervous too, so
I mean,
sitting there, I was like, they about to. I don't
hey,
know,
if
but
it's not a good quote unless you're nervous when you send it. Like if you ain't
yeah.
nervous to hit that button, you ain't taking big enough steps. If you scared, if you like, dang, maybe I should take a little off, or maybe I should. If you ain't like that when you send it, you ain't moving in the right direction. So that's good. You're supposed to be if you ain't nervous a few times a year sending quotes, you're not going in the right direction. So you gotta be scared to death to hit that send button. But I'm gonna tell you what's gonna feel good is when they say, "Oh yeah, let's go," and that deposit hit that account, and you like, "Dang, that's nice." So yeah, keep us posted on that, man. I love to hear about it. Rancy, you next, bro.
What's happening? What's happening? I ain't been in the Wednesday meetings in a couple of weeks, but was able to slide in tonight. I got a quick question. I had a charter school, grade K through 8, reach out to me today through my website
Mm-hmm.
and requesting some services. And I just wanted to and I'm glad you all touched on the topic about the background check because I need to take care of that when working with them. But they basically need some marketing material. So they told me they wanted 8 15 to 30-second reels, and then they want 200 to 400 pictures. So my question for you is how should I, because I got a couple of things kind of going on in my head that I want to approach them with, but how would you price that out? And then, because we're going to meet by Zoom, them and the rest of the decision makers. So, of course, I'm going to ask them about their pain points, X, Y, and Z. But one of my questions is, how would you, let's say they're adamant about that, how would you price that out? And then my other question is, I was thinking in my head, if they need marketing and advertising material for this charter school, would it be smart for me to probably try to put them on like a monthly retainer or just do a one off and just kind of wipe my hands and move on?
No, no, no. We want to keep clients as long as humanly possible. It's easier to keep a client. It's cheaper to keep her, as they say back in the day. So it's easier to keep a client than bring in new clients. So what we want to do is we definitely want to try to continue this relationship and grow with it. You said they wanted pictures and video. Right now, I see three different charges and three different people I'm going to have on this project. I can see a photographer, a videographer, and post production, an editor. So and you should price it accordingly. Don't get there and be the one man band with the camera switching from video to photo to video to photo. That ain't it, Chief. We want to make sure that we have the correct staff to provide at a level that that they need. And one thing too, I want to make sure a lot of people feel like they can do it all themselves, and you probably can, but you won't be able to provide the level of quality that three people or at least two people on this project can provide. And the level of quality is what the company will remember you for, not the fact that you were able to tap dance by yourself. So I would, you know, if the event is 6 hours, hypothetically, let's say, um, and depending on how much video is involved, you're paying for a video crew, which is a minimum 2 man, preferably three, a photographer, which is one, preferably two with an assistant. That's a 5 man crew for this event. I'm pricing it for the cost of 5 men on this event, plus post production. And if there's any pre-production needed, pre-production as well. So,
Okay.
what type of event is it? You said, is it one more time?
They're just a charter school and they just need advertising or marketing material.
Right. Are they looking to market from a live event? Are we capturing testimonials? Like what are we looking to capture at this event?
Well, see, that's what when we have the Zoom meeting on Friday, that's what we discuss. So,
Yeah, I think before I even, well, I mean, the outline of the price is, we have teams to do different things, but I would try to get an understanding of what does success look like for them? Like, what are they trying to get out of this? Are they trying to, because it's a big difference between, hey, we want to create a demo video, we want to create a highlight video for the people that came to show them how much fun we had, and a highlight video for people who missed it to make them want to sign up next year, or something we're going to use next year to promote it. Those are two different videos with two different outcomes that require two different mindsets going into creating the content. And I think that's something that we definitely got to we got to understand before we come into the event, because now I know, am I capturing people having fun? Am I capturing speakers? Are we getting testimonials? Are we filming the whole event to be seen later? Like, these are things I need to know, and then my pricing will be based off of that. Because I think that I mean, it's just a different set of tools needed, depending on which way you go. But the question I'm asking the client is I'm trying to understand what their end goal is. Because sometimes they don't know. They just want to capture it. Like, it's been times where we've gone to events, and I don't like doing this, but we've gone to events to capture a lot of stuff, and then we're waiting to hear back as to what they want. I don't like going into it like that. It has happened before, and I've had companies who, they got a lot of money to blow at the end of the year so they can clear the books, and they're like, "Look, we're gonna bring you out to capture it. We'll decide what we want to do later, but just keep the footage, and we'll just go from there." So if you can sit down with the team to better understand what success looks like for them, then I think you can plan accordingly, because you may be able to get away with just one photographer and a 3 man video crew. and not have to go all the way out. But I mean, let's say they say, hey, we want, they may get to the meeting and say, we want 3 cameras minimum, or we want to capture the live event on stage, and we want to take pictures of the award winners, and we want to get testimonials, and we want a headshot booth in the next room. Like, that's a lot of people. That's a big staff. But we can do it. But the price
Yep.
is going to be right.
From the email they sent me today, they said we're a local K-8 charter school, and we're looking to get around 200 to 400 pictures that we can use. Also, some eight. I'm assuming they're talking about reels, roll clips for our digital marketing campaign. So,
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you another thing you can do that will help you it'll help you look super smart when you go in there. Like, it'll help them choose you. Is ask either at the meeting or beforehand that they get the digital dimensions from the marketing company. If they have a marketing company that's doing their campaign, if somebody's doing their campaign, if they got an idea for a campaign, or if they don't have an idea for a campaign, then you can go in with suggestions. But I would find out who's running their campaign and get an understanding of the footage they need. Hey, let me communicate with the person or team or company that's running your campaign so that we can make sure we get the right type of footage that helps your campaign be successful. They should have a list of things that they need. Hey, we need vertical video with testimonials. Hey, we need panning shots of the event. Hey, we need something fast paced. We need people looking in the camera saying, don't miss this event next year. Or we need talking points with people who can speak on how this event has helped them or what they've taken away from this event. Or, what can they immediately apply that they learned from this event, or what was their favorite speaker. There's plenty of ways you can go with it, but I want to know who needs the footage, and I want to have a direct relationship so I can understand what they need so that we can provide it. Because the client, they're not really going to, as long as it's well exposed and in focus, they're going to pretty much be happy. However, you can get feedback from a client that they like it, and then a marketing company hates it, and now the client doesn't work with you again, even though the client liked it and the client didn't know what questions to ask. So I've learned if there is a marketing company involved, let me get with that marketing company, because that marketing company may also have um they may also have a style guide. They may also have other parameters in which they want you to film. They may say we want everything in 4K. They may say we want everything in vertical video. I mean, it's a lot of parameters that they can put on a project that is best to know beforehand. And simply by talking to that client and saying, hey, we need to speak with the marketing company so that we can better assist them in being successful, just by asking that, and no other video production company is asking that, it'll put you ahead of the competition.
and then my other I came in late, so I missed it. I heard a little tail end of it, but I
Mhm.
remember a couple of months ago, you mentioned how you won a particular school because you were the only one who had the background checks. How do I go about? Do I wait for them to ask me that, or do I kind of throw that out there to
No,
them, like, "Hey, my team
I'm
background checks done"?
I'm throwing it out because it's a competitive advantage. I'm throwing it out because they may not think of it. Like, it's been like the school that we wanted, they didn't ask for a background check. They never asked for it. They just didn't think about it. Even though you feel like, come on now, you should. They got so many other things they're trying to do. When you present that, it shows that you do this often. Like, you are the subject matter expert. I would not walk into a school I wouldn't even, I am so considerate of the type of client I work with. I would not have my staff around your students without a background check. Now, if that doesn't show that we do this and we're the subject matter experts, nothing will. Because, and I like to submit it on my proposal. I don't even often mention it when I'm talking to them, because I don't. This is my reason, and it's a little bit of, I ain't gonna say it's selfish, but I feel like if I bring it up while talking about it, if I feel like there's competition, then they're going to tell their competition. If I submit it in a proposal and they receive it, and up front it shows background checks are complete, then when they get to sit down with the other proposals, again, mine stand out. And this is feedback directly from a client who said your proposal was the only one that said you did a background check on you and everybody in your staff. It was front and center. When we saw that, we threw the rest of them away. It was nothing else to talk about. So it is a glaring front page thing that I present in my proposal with my background check. It'll let them know that a background check has been completed, and any details I wish to share will be in the proposal, but it's a part of the proposal. And again, I like to use things like Proposalify so that I can see where clients spend time in my proposal. And this was an area that mattered, especially when I was working with kids. It's huge. I mean, and I'm gonna be real with you. The only way I thought about it, honestly, was I was picking up my son from school, and he scanned my ID, and I'm like, man, this place is top. This place is Fort Knox, and I get it. But I've filmed in places where they were like, come on in, you got a camera, come on in. And I think that there's nothing's better than just having your stuff together when you are, you're around kids. Plus, like I said before, I don't know that I could recover from going into a place and having one of my guys get denied entry into a school. Like, what do you do? Do you send him home? Do you cancel? What do you do? I don't ever want to be in that situation. I don't want to get caught like that. Like, just get caught as a project manager like that. Because remember, we are managing the project. If you have somebody who shouldn't be in this facility, did you really manage the project right? Can I trust you in other places if you're putting my students in danger? So, we were referred by a bigger company that we work with previous. And I mean, it's a lot of relationships on the line. I don't want to risk it when I can pay $30 and get a background check. If that makes sense.
I appreciate it.
Oh, anytime. Up next, Mr. Marcus.
I should be doing that with my boyfriends, by the way. We
There
should
you-
be having I be doing the background checks on the boyfriends. It'd be great.
You should definitely do that. Hope.
I'm more on it with my contractors, probably.
You got to do the boyfriends and the contractors.
Okay, I got some wins, I got some losses.
You mean
but
lessons?
lessons. It's their loss, not mine.
True.
So I got to the point where when I send the proposal out, I was scared.
Okay, then you doing good.
Last week, I sent out $100,000 worth of work. I have never put out $100,000 worth of work in 1 week.
I like that.
Now, some of them were like, "Oh, you're too expensive." I understand. Because my proposal has what we need, the overview, yada, 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 things you can get in Module 1 to help out. But needless to say, the proof of concepts, I felt good. And then another win is I had a local media company here call me in for a meeting, saying that they potentially needed my help because their radio ads weren't doing the job. And they tried throwing me some money for me to stop doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
They're trying to, are there some competition or something?
Yes, sir.
Oh, and they mad at you? They mad, so okay.
Yes, sir.
So they're trying to give you a little hush money,
little hush money. It's the first time.
No, I'll take it.
I'm like,
But I ain't gonna
okay,
hush.
the implementations that I'm doing from the modules, I'm rattling some cages because I'm taking money away from these people. And they sat me down like, hey, you can make X, Y, and Z. I'm like, hold up. I just put out $100,000 worth of stuff last week.
They had the mafia talk with you. Hey, listen. We need you to, it'd be like that sometimes. Just know that everybody on here, all these gold members now, if we got to ride out, we down. That was in the clause when everybody signed up that we get to ride out. And if we got to come out there deep, you know what I'm saying? Just let us know. Right. Everybody who signed to click the yes when they signed up, See, look at Carlos. See what I'm saying? Everybody here. And the Reverend just gonna pray for him when we done. He gonna pray for him. They see, oh, we even got him on board. Y'all know y'all gotta ride. Nah, if y'all got him on board, y'all know y'all gotta ride. So I don't want to hear no excuses. I don't want no excuses. He cracked his knuckles. He tucked in his the white, what's the name, and cracked his knuckles. So if he riding, I don't want to hear no excuses.
The great part about all this is in the lesson is the implementations of actual application are really working out for me. And it's I went and took the Brinks truck to get its oil changed, right? If you know
Okay.
what the Brinks truck, you know what it is.
You know what it is.
Went to get it checked, phone was blowing up. Contemplating, had to put the phone down. I needed to process the level of, oh my goodness, what just happened? Okay, I need to do some more cold calling. I need to start going up to more businesses now. Because if I'm being a threat, it means I'm doing something right.
Absolutely.
Even more so now.
If you got haters, you're going in the right direction.
I'm in the right direction. So that's my win for this week. Now we're hoping that $140,000 of work that got sent out comes back, but it was a win here. And as we teach here, and as we say, you educate twice before you can play once. This is the mindset over everything.
Got to put the money out there. I like that.
That's what I got.
Now, if you got to throw some hands, now you got the emergency button in the app. You just hit it, double click it, you triple click on the logo, and slide up, and everybody lights turn red at their house, and we know where to go. The location it's the location automatically loads in their phone on the app, and we just head out. So, you know what I'm saying? Just want to put that out there. So, you know, we already know. Everybody with their hand up, see, they already got their hands up. They're ready to throw them hands. So, Brandy, you up next with Gateway Visuals.
Oh gosh.
I seen that new video y'all posted. I liked it.
Thank you. That was a styled shoot that a bunch of people out here got together to collaborate on. It was pretty amazing. And those events are great because they're great networking opportunities. You get a lot of referrals that way.
Yeah.
And we got some free professional headshots from one of the photographers that were fire. Oh my gosh, they were so great. Can I post pictures in the chat?
You can. You have to share screen. You can post it in the chat. Yeah, you can post it in the
Oh
chat.
no, just in the chat. Yeah, I'll put them in there so you guys can see. It was a really high-end photographer that was there,
Yeah,
and she gave him some amazing photos.
that's
So I'll
dope.
put them in there so you guys can see. But just to give you some context about our win, we're fresh in the wedding space, and it's taken us some time to find our way as far as like niching down even within this space. Like, what is it that we want to do? What kind of product do we want to put out? But his work is good. So like we've been getting inquiries, but we didn't have our systems really set up, and we still don't. But we did make some adjustments because we were getting inquiries, but we weren't getting to a consultation call.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were just like, okay, we got to readjust something. And we did. And yesterday we got an inquiry. And this morning she booked for the consultation call, which is on Friday. So that's my small win for the week. I'll let you guys know what happens next week, but it's our first consultation call, which is great to get to the next step so that we can continue to, fine tune this thing and
Are you
start
using
closing, hopefully.
Are you using HoneyBook?
Yeah, we use
Okay.
HoneyBook. I have the contact form embedded in our website. So these people are finding us on Instagram, and then they click our website and fill out the contact form.
Nice. And then taking them through the
Yeah,
process.
yes. And so we've made some tweaks. And like there's the very first time we tried the new script, and boom, consultation call like in less than 6 hours.
Yeah, that's dope. Now
It's great.
Now you can use there's an app I talked about on AppSumo called Zocket. So let me before I get off it, let me tell you this. I'm gonna tell you the name of it because you can run ads with it. And they just released an update which will allow you to Zocket. Okay, I can't even talk. ZOCKET. Zocket is an app that uses AI to help you run apps, right? And in that app, they used to do products and they did like just reach ads. Well, they just rolled out services to get leads. So now you can run ads. You put in your website, it'll design your ad based off your website. Ask you a few questions. Where do you want to target? Yada yada yada. And now you can run ads that'll generate leads through Zocket. So it's pretty much a ad agency using AI. So you may want to check that out. So for what you're doing, it'll pretty much, it's just like the lead form that you got, but it's marketing it to people on Instagram, Facebook, Instagram, Google, and then they'll fill it out and just start your process. So you may want to look into that because they just rolled out services like this week. I was complaining about it, like, yo, I can push products, I can be brand awareness, but I can't get leads. And it was like, say less, big fella. And they rolled it out. So I think I have that. If you look in the community in the AppSumo area, I think I have it posted there. If not, I will post it as soon as we get off here. But it's pretty dope.
Okay, I'll definitely check that out because I'm about to redo our website with our new brand messaging and all of that stuff. So that'll be good if it scan the website. It makes it easy.
It'll scan the website and it'll design images. Like what's crazy is it'll take the pictures off your website and make it look like a dope ad. It'll write it up. It'll give you like options. Do you want it to be emotional, minimal? Do you want it to be clickbaity, whatever? Just kind of like Taja do a little bit, but it create the whole ad, publish it. You don't have to know how to work your Facebook business account or anything. Pick your location, your target audience, and it'll start running it. Put in your budget and it'll run it, and it'll tell you over time, like, hey, each lead costs $2, and it'll use AI to try to reduce that lead cost. But if for somebody who don't know, like, you don't have to have experience with ads to get going and get started. You know what I mean? You can, I mean, don't get me wrong. If anybody watching, if you got the budget, if you got 5,000-6,000 to blow on ads per month, it's great. Pay somebody 1,500 to manage the ad and put the rest in the ad budget. Go for it. You going over time, you're gonna probably you'll get more for the remainder of that ad balance than you would initially. But to get going, to get the ball rolling, and get some calls, when you compare it to something like a Thumbtack, where you may spend, let's say hypothetically, when I was rolling on Thumbtack, I was spending $250, $300 a week. Well, that's $1,200 a month in ads. I'm sure I can get, if I'm getting 2-3 calls a week off Thumbtack, I'm sure I can get 20 calls a month running ads myself on Instagram, Facebook, and Google using these AI tools. So something to think about. Especially in weddings, because it's easier to target people. On Facebook, because you can target people who are engaged, who are in a relationship. You can target people based off relationship status. So, or interest.
Absolutely. That's the plan. When we found that out, that's the plan. We're going to throw some money at it, but we had to have a clear path. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be throwing it out there and we don't really know what we're going to do just yet. So now that we do, this is right on time. This app that you're talking about is right on time for us because we plan on running ads soon.
Facts. I
Thank
feel
you.
you. It ain't tricking if you got it. That's what they say in the hood.
And that is dope that you really can go in there and be like, okay, I want to target these people in these areas that recently changed their status. Like in the last 3 months, you could say when they changed it too.
Absolutely.
I was like, shut up.
If you can work Google Business, I mean not Google Business, Facebook business, like if you can go in there and set up, it's not super hard. Zocket make it a lot easier. Zocket is great at looking at your product, writing the ad, coming up with the image and what it displays. As far as your audience, it's the same. But what's great about what Zocket do is Zocket will look at your website, pull your color scheme, and it'll create dope images around your product or service. And then it'll use AI to interpret what you do and write, to write the copy that's designed to get people to sell, to buy. It's a call to action, and it'll put the emojis and everything. It probably uses ChatGPT, who knows? But it'll write it in a way that is dope for your ad, and then it'll run the ad for you, and it'll make it really easy for you to sit back and just log into one place and I can see Facebook and Google ads. This also includes videos. You can do video ads as well. So something to think about.
That's impressive. And just real quick, unrelated, I just wanted to give a shout out to Victor because that book club recommendation that he gave, I didn't get to make it because I was sick on Monday, but that book, I'm 3 chapters in, and it helped me formulate my brand messaging in terms of how to present it and in what order. So I just wanted to put that out there that's something that was very beneficial and helpful.
Hey, well, that was Marcus' recommendation. Even though he didn't show up to the meeting
Yeah,
either.
Marcus, my bad. I thought you did it. Well, Marcus,
But
shout out to Marcus.
What
Thank
I
him for
do?
giving him his props. But yeah, shout out to Marcus. But the book is great so far.
They talk about a book. What book was it, Marcus? Tell the people what book it was.
it was starting with why.
What's the name of
Start
it?
with why. Yeah, love that book.
Oh, Start With Why. Okay, yeah.
That's why I have an Apple iPhone.
Man, me and Victor was hanging out at the Walmart the other day, man. We was just kicking it.
Right.
Not at the Walmart.
We had security run up on us. We had the boy, but anyway, we'll share that later when we get off there. We ain't gonna say everything, but we'll talk about that.
Marcus, speaking of the books, when did you say you were releasing How to Make a Choke Sandwich?
How to make a choke sandwich. That's in the photo booth module that's coming up.
That was smooth. That was real smooth. I like how you did that. That's right. Andrew, you up next, bro.
All right. I just had a question about I got a warm lead, a super warm lead with one of the top DEI companies in the country. This gentleman goes to my church who is the CEO currently. And they deal with a lot of the Fortune 50, Fortune 100 companies, going into like Delta and Coca-Cola and doing all these DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion workshops and seminars and stuff like that. I spoke to him about, the value of freeing up his time and how he used to be, in 3 different states each week doing workshops and seminars. And then, of course, due to COVID, he moved to, he can now do it from his house via Zoom calls or whatnot. But wanted to speak to him about, even recording some of those workshops and seminars and packaging it so he can still almost charge the same price for the product, and then he could still be at home and making money in his sleep or whatnot. But just trying to find a way. What do you guys suggest or anything concerning packaging that up? I know in speaking to him, his biggest thing is just it's something he wants to do, something he knows he needs to do. But for him, of course, he's a busy individual, so he's like, as long as it could be kind of fit in his schedule. So I want to even present it to him in a way and be like, listen, I thought about HeyGen, but of course some of his seminars are like 4 hours long and stuff like that. But trying to find a way to say, hey, listen, we'll schedule like a specific day or something, or I'll come out with you to one of your workshops and we can shoot it there and then, produce it for you later so you can use it as an online course. But just trying to see if anyone has any ideas or recommendations on how I could package this all up for this company.
I think you kind of hit it right on the head. Is filming a seminar, coming out, filming it, just like you're streaming it, multicam, and selling it as is. Really, I mean, most courses that you buy are film seminars. I mean, a lot of them, like the courses here, I'm talking directly in the camera, but a lot of people film their on stage time and repackage it and resend it more than you know. So if he's and some people too, I've learned they're not comfortable. They're not comfortable in front of a camera. I've met so many public speakers that were like froze when we get a camera in their face. I cannot tell you how many. A huge amount of people were just stuck with me, them, and a camera. So some people are their natural self on stage. I would just agree to film him doing what he do, and start it that way. And then maybe over time you'll have like drop ins. So think of it like a reality show, right? Where they show You know, they show the beef that happened in the nail shop, and then they cut to the lady like she had me messed up. Blah 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 blah. When I walked in, I seen her. You know what I'm saying? So you can kind of have his just a style that you can kind of use where you're showing his seminar, and then maybe you'll have him drop in, and you can film them at a later time or whenever you have time to to kind of go into detail if it's something he didn't get a chance to go into detail during the seminar. Another good thing about seminars that I like filming training during seminars is the questions that you get from the audience members are usually the questions of those who are watching. So you'll get to address those, you know, instead of pitching it, somebody watching it and have questions and their questions aren't answered. A lot of times, you know, I've noticed like if you follow him around for 3 or 4 seminars, you'll have all the questions answered.
Do you mind if I add to that?
Go for it.
I do corporate clients like this all the time, and I'm actually kind of part of it because sometimes I speak and things like that. So, what I think that this person would probably like to do, because to just take it, film it, and then repackage it as another video, sometimes people in that industry don't necessarily see the value because they'll just buy the video and just redo it themselves. But my workaround that makes money on both sides, on both your side and on their side, is to and you said that if he's had experience pre-COVID doing it live and then turning it into Zoom during the COVID years, then you know he knows how to do it live. And so you can film it live first. Once you have that filmed live, then you reconstitute it and you put it in a pre-recorded webinar.
That too.
So that webinar becomes a live feed, but you're showing his presentation. And he can even be there in the background. He just doesn't have to do it live every time, but he can be there in the background answering questions. What I just added to my structured pricing on top of that, remember how Ty a couple weeks ago was talking about using AI, and when that person doesn't want to be on camera, they can do it over and over again. You can just shoot it once. Well, every time they have the Q&A portion, I now take that Q&A portion, that stuff gets brought in and converted and becomes part of their what is it? Oh crap!
Marketing.
Their
FAQ.
yeah, it becomes part of their FAQ. So the thing is you can, each time it gets run as a webinar, and when you run it as a webinar, money there's 15 ways to make money off the webinar. So the thing is that the people that are purchasing or attending the webinar, they just know that it's live. They don't know that it's pre-recorded. And if he's there in the background, he doesn't have to show up on camera, but he's there answering questions live too. So to them, it's a completely live event. So the value is there. It's worth paying for and getting paid for it. He just doesn't have to do it over and over again, but he can be there fielding questions. Each time this webinar is done, say it's done weekly, you are compiling, okay? And that's the big sell to your client, is that each time those questions get fielded, we're compiling it and we're making a database of it for it to be easily referenced in the future, so that he doesn't have to keep doing that work over and over again. So those are the two big value propositions. Number one, it's kind of pseudo live, but he doesn't have to get on camera every time. But it does have enough value to the end client, whether it's a business client or whether it's a customer, to where it's getting people can pay for it. So money's being made on both sides, and compiling all this information and putting together a database and ultimately an FAQ. And in time, ultimately, you can use AI to train this stuff up, and then you have a chat bot on their website. So there's a number of different products that can come of this that you can put together. Where, man, you could shoot once Okay, I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, man. It starts at the shoot. My work now starts at the shoot, and I got products on products that I can keep selling to the client well after the shoot's over.
I'm sure we've sat through a webinar thinking it was real. I'm sure we all have sat through a webinar thinking it was live.
Yep. And that brings me to just two more quick questions I had about this same topic. One, do you have any recommendations on a portal or website or something I can help him out to host these webinars, or a masterclass one created or something like that? Like, what's a good software or a service that I can use that he can, like, let's say he sells Coca-Cola on doing this seminar for something specific. Is there a certain platform that you guys prefer or would recommend? That's question number one.
There's one that I used before. Let me see if I can look it up. I'll let you guys jump in if
And
there's.
if you have any other questions, just reach out to me, man. We're in the same city.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then I guess my second question was pricing wise. Now, would I look at this more from a production standpoint or the value for him? Because if he's doing some of these, and let's just say for each workshop or whatnot, a client may have a price range of $5,000 per individual in the class. And he may have a class of, I'm just gonna say 8 to 10, just throwing a number off the top of my head. Would I price it according to the value of him not having to do it, or should I price it according to, me setting up a 3-camera shoot with audio and editing and da 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 da?
I mean, the price is always based off what you bring to the table. I mean, this is the thing. That's kind of it's never based off. I'm not gonna say it's never based off the client, right? Because the client, you got to base it off the client a little bit, because if it's under what you want to charge, you need to look at that to determine whether or not it's worth you doing it. You know what I'm saying? So if they're making $20 a head and you charging, for what it takes to do it right is 10,000, it may not be worth it to the client. So you still got to pay attention to it. Now on the flip side, if it's $5,000 a head, I mean, you got to price it accordingly. He can't sell a $5,000 course with crappy content. So you need to bring your A game, and you need to spare no expense. And then it needs to be an ongoing thing, because you're going to continue to run it for him. You get the webinar software, you launch it, you make it so all he got to do is log in. So it should be an ongoing thing for you to shoot it, create it, post it. You learn about it. You be the project manager, and not set yourself up where you filming it, handing them all the files, and then you saying peace. It's your brand is offering the webinar capabilities for his company. So in doing that, we got to film it. We got to, you got to figure out the platform. You got to set it up. You got to make it so it's turnkey. He show up, answer some questions, and then, and then that's it. And another thing too is, usually when you do multiple webinars, whatever your top questions are, and it's something you can just put in your back pocket, whatever I kind of learned this a while back just reading about it. Whatever your top questions are should be on your website. Those are the objections that most people have that prevent them from buying. So if everybody, like, I give you an example, I'm gonna use my stuff personally, right? Everybody asks, how do I get more clients, Ty? Well, if I can tell you that what we offer solves that problem up front before you even get there, when you land on the page, the first thing I'm gonna tell you is we're gonna teach you how to get more clients. That overcomes an objection that people will have buying his course. Now, whatever his course is, the objections are probably going to be different. But you want to make sure that the good thing about a webinar and having a lot of people to run this across, especially if you don't have a YouTube audience or whatever, is you're going to compile the major objections that prevent people from buying, and then you can put those out front. But with him, I'm the project manager. You got to keep in mind what it's going to cost to capture, create, do this. All this time you're going to spend learning this program, all this time you're going to spend running it, the cost of the platform, all of that need to be incorporated into your price, where it's turnkey. He doesn't have to worry about anything but showing up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Also a little bit add on to that is the fact that you may be able to get marketing material and market. I just talked about an app to help you run ad campaigns. Now you can handle that as well. Or you can get with somebody like Luke and say, hey man, what would it cost us to run a campaign like X, Y, and Z? Okay, add that into the cost, and now we can run your ad campaign and handle everything. Because if you don't have time, remember the value that you bring is not just the fact that you can film it and it looks great, but that you can take stuff off his plate. That's worth money to him. That means he don't have to do nothing. He getting 5,000 a head. He don't have to do anything. He don't gotta worry about nothing. All he gotta do is pay one bill and the money's coming in. So these are things that make you a turnkey solution. This is what makes you valuable. And this is what makes you reassuringly expensive compared to the other guy that's saying, I'll film it. I can film it. I got another guy saying I can do a webinar. I got another guy saying I can market it. We're gonna do everything here. This is what our brand do. So I'm handling everything. I'm going to present the solution. Just like you said, the webinar, okay, my solution is the webinar along with some marketing. We put out a few vertical videos talking about, I may use something like Opus or whatever to pull some vertical videos from it. We market those on your social media platforms or wherever, LinkedIn or wherever he attracts clients, and we funnel them to the webinar. We funnel them to the sales page that makes them buy and go to the webinar. And if I were you, I would control all of it, the domain, the website, all of it. Because if you control it and he's paying you to keep it going, and like this is a little bit beyond filming, right? It's a little bit beyond the video production side of it. But now you have a subscription client for life that relies on you for a source of income. So he's gonna pay that bill. And for you, it's gonna be cake work. Go for it.
Yep. And when they rely on you for that source of income, they ain't gonna walk away from you.
And
like they ain't gonna be like, oh well, we're just gonna go with this other company because it's cheaper. Because it's not about cheaper. It's about we could lose out on this revenue stream. You know what I mean? And it takes time to prove it, but once you get there with them, you're there. It's worth the work.
And next year, when prices have to go up 10% because of cost of living, guess what? Hey, it is what it is.
Actually, and those services can go up. Shoot, they can change their price at any time. So it's like, all right, host the webinar. Oh, well, they went up 30%.
And you'll get, because you're buying, let's say, the webinar software, or you're buying access to the chat bot a year at a time, you'll get it dirt cheap. Or a lot of the stuff we're talking about can be found on AppSumo, where you can get lifetime access, and you're just in your pocket in profit. I see chat bots on there all the time. So just something to think about. Like that, that's a client that could be 30, 40, 50% of your yearly revenue alone. That client can be 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 a year of what you bring in at minimum. Probably more than that. So it sounds like it's a great place to be with that client. Especially if give me a client that's getting 5,000 a head. I got enough wiggle room. I got enough room in the profits to do my magic and make good money and justify it. See, it's difficult when a lot of people pick niches where their clients is getting $20 a pop. It's hard for them to justify spending $3, $4, $5, $10,000 with you for content. But when you got a client that's getting 5,000 a head, it's easy to make it make sense. That's why picking a niche is so important. That's why I like dentists or ortho, where everybody that's sitting in their chair is spending $3,000, maybe not out of pocket, but insurance company wise, they're spending a lot of money. So the goal is to find a niche where the client's target audience is a home, not a home run every time, but is spending a good chunk of money. That's why you can't go like the barber route, you know what I'm saying? Because they're spending $30, $40, $50 a head. It's just difficult for them to justify $5,000 for a video. It's not difficult for a client that's getting $5,000 a head to justify $20,000 a month in content, especially if you can bring them 20, 30 people. Easy. Say less. Let's go. So you know, it's the same should be for you. If I can bring your video production company $50,000 worth of business, and I say give me $5,000, you would sell everything in your house to give me that 5,000. Because once we get the ball rolling, you're gonna buy it back. So I that's a good situation to be in, bro. And the more you
Hey,
can,
I appreciate it.
the more you can offer and take off his plate, the more you seem worth it. You know what I'm saying? Where even your competition, and sometimes I'm gonna tell you what I like about situations like that. Just me being me in the way I think, right? I like clients that come to me with an idea and they haven't fully flushed it out. And they're going to other video people, they're trying to get prices, but they haven't flushed out the idea. So when you come to me and I flush out the idea and I make them say my favorite thing I make all my clients say when I know I got you, I never thought about that. When you say that, I'm just yanking on the hook at that point. I'm just pulling you close to the boat. Because I now when I've, you know, you just got A to B, when I provide A to Z and my competition's providing A to F, and it's a no-brainer to go with us. Even though we're more expensive, it makes sense. So I like to present the whole solution to those clients and go places they never thought of. They become clients for life, especially if you pull it off or when you pull it off.
I appreciate it. That definitely helps. It's a family friend, so I've talked to him casually about it uh, pretty often, and he's like, "Hey, you know, what would you think something like this would cost?" But you know, trying to be professional about it, I don't want to just do the whole family and friends like, "Hey, let's do something." I'm like, I'm gonna take you out for lunch and give you like a whole presentation of a proposal and this and that, and providing that whole turnkey solution, I think would definitely help him out because I know even speaking with his wife, like he said, he knows he needs to do it. His biggest concern is does he have time on his plate to even fulfill it? But if I'm able to come out and record a workshop and whatnot, and you know he's already doing it, that takes time off his plate. And then if I can provide the input to what clients need to do in order to log into a webinar or whatnot, I think that's even more of a benefit to them. So I appreciate all the insight.
And whenever you
Well,
guys
and
have,
just
oh, go for it, bro.
I was just going to say, you just provided another opportunity to show value because he's a
Yep.
family friend, things like that. What I would suggest is with family, friends, things like that, sometimes they don't necessarily see the value or it gets veiled by the whole family and friendship thing. So, what you do is you show him your structured pricing. So you price it out as if they were a regular client. And then because you know that, this is your sister's husband, then you provide a nice little discount, but they need to know right up front how much value you are throwing their way by giving them the real structured pricing. Once you've done that, then you show them, what you're discounting, then they see even more value. So you have already, I mean, via this conversation alone, you've put together a full solution for him, and you have signed yourself up for reoccurring revenue. That's the whole idea, and that's why, man. I've been saying this since end of last year, man. My job seems to start after the shoot. I'll tell you, it's not about just the shoot anymore. My job is starting after the shoot because there's so much stuff I can sell them post shoot, and now you've got a situation where you can lock them in, literally for the long haul. We're talking, years worth of business. And the thing is it's no sweat off his back because this is, it sounds to me like this is government money. So, with that being said, you are in a really, really good spot. And again, if you need any further assistance, like I said, man, dude, I'm right down the street.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to
I'm gonna
say this.
definitely give you a go.
I want to say this too, and everybody that's watching. When you have clients that are busy, they're giving you ammo for the gun. They're giving you ammo. They're giving you something to show value at to win them over. I love a busy client because not only do I know you need video, I know if I can take stuff off your plate, I become more valuable. So I got two things to win you over. I love a busy client. You want to use that to your advantage. That's all I'm gonna say. Find a way to use a client's busyness to your advantage.
Yeah, and speaking with him individually, he knew the value of it. So, like I said, when he was traveling to, at least 3 different states throughout the week, he was like, "Oh, it'll take a wear and tear on your body." And mind you, the company's been doing this for the past 45 years. Um, so, as this gentleman's getting older, he's like, "Oh, traveling a lot is putting a lot on me." And then he said COVID helped out because he didn't have to travel as much and he could just be in his living room. So then I pointed out the idea of what if you don't even have to be active in it. You can still be at home in your pajamas and let the live webinar do its thing, and you still rake in the same amount of money. And I even presented it to him in the fact of the product is still the same. You just don't have to show up. So if you're selling it, $5,000 per head, or $100,000 to a company, you can still charge them $100,000 for the product. And then if they want you live, add another $50,000 to it. So now, to make it worth make it even more so worth you coming. So if they want the product, $100,000. If you want me to show up, it's $150,000.
And the
He
benefit,
loved the idea. He loved the idea because it, like I said, it freed up his time.
and he don't have cost with travel involved. And now the client can watch it on their own terms and rewatch it over and over again and make sure they retain it compared to being there live. So it's a win for everybody. I like it. I like it. Victor, we're gonna do yours next, and then we're gonna pause because we're gonna pull out of the live. We're gonna do Victor and maybe one more, and then we're gonna stop live and then continue with our accountability meeting. But go for it.
I can wait on that one. I can wait. If somebody else needs to go, they can go.
Okay. You say you don't. Okay. Anybody else got any wins or lessons they want to chat about briefly before we shut down the live portion of it?
I got one.
Go for
it. Small stuff.
Small. Hold on. You've been on a cruise ship all week talking about this small. Go ahead.
So I had this big project that was a week-long cruise. This is the second year in a row we've done it with their client. And basically, the team and I, we captured a bunch of concerts, music performances, comedy routines daily. And then we helped them transmit that across the entire ship to everyone's room. And then at the end of it all, we had like captions done overnight. So the guests who wanted to watch it with captions could watch it the first thing in the morning. And then now that we're back home, is putting everything together, organizing, and sending over all the recordings we did, which was great. So the couple small wins and some stuff I had learned along the way is that basically I was a bit short on some equipment because I had another project come in at the same time. So basically, a client said, "Hey, I need some videos edited," but ended up being the time I'm gone. I'm on a cruise ship. So the cruise ship we're on had Starlink. So for the most part, we were able to use the internet to communicate, phone calls, emails, download a couple things, nothing crazy. Took the majority of the media with me. But the thing I really wanted to talk about was that I needed multiple computers. I had a computer dedicated for our main project, running our switcher, MacBook. I had another MacBook Pro that was in charge of all the captioning, all of the asset management, organizing everything. By the way, I think we left with like 50 terabytes worth of footage. About half of that is being redundant. So I'm putting stuff on multiple drives, different locations. So I cannot 50 terabytes. The true weight is about 25 with everything we shot. So fun fact, and I didn't know this, you could rent MacBooks for like $200 a week or whatever it was, 250 from lensrentals.com. And I had no idea. So I was looking up gear. I was like, hold on a sec. Oh, wow, these are all here. And these are decent MacBook Pros. I think it was like 250 for a week. So you ever have a project that you need to multiple computers, like, oh, I can't do this because of XYZ. There's a solution and you can rent them. And they're decent. And they come with everything. They have their passwords, they're easy to use. And then I just wipe everything out before I return it. So it's an awesome thing I learned, and for sure I used it. So I rented 2 MacBooks from them. I gave one to the editor. I kept one for myself, and I had a backup computer, like just not touching it, and then I had one for my switcher that I was working on while we're doing the shows. So it was an awesome solution, and I highly recommend it for anybody who needs to borrow a couple MacBooks here and there.
I've rented from them 2 MacBooks as well, and they work great.
It's great. I had no idea.
I would highly consider buying Mac Minis for about $500 that are hella powerful. Get you a portable monitor like this. Portable monitor powers via USB-C, and I'll take a M2, M3. There you go. Yeah, I'll take an M2 or M3 Mac Mini. Yeah, and I would use this bad boy with my Mac Mini. For $500, I mean, it's the price of you renting the MacBook Pro for 2 weeks, just no
For sure.
screen.
Well, when you need a lot, I needed like 6 on top of the ones we had. So I was like, screw it, because it was for slide capture. But I would definitely think about getting like the M2s or something for sure, like a little hard case. And then you get like the screen, like something like this built in to like the lid. And then you have the foam with like your computer, and then another attachment with like cables and like hard drives and whatnot that you can have.
I'm running on an old M1 Mac Mini. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 screens connected. The Mac Minis are so powerful. I would highly, and they just little. I would highly suggest it. Like, they're crazy.
I think me and Luke were talking about just getting them and throwing them in the trash afterwards, right? Luke?
Yeah.
I can't remember what we're talking about.
So I got my server. I got a media server that's, you know, everything's run off the Mac Mini. I got like 3. Whenever I get a Mac Mini and it don't, like, it's run its course, it just goes to a different room. Like, it got a different job. You know what I'm saying? And it still works perfectly. So I love Mac Minis, man. For the price, $499, you get one and you'll be surprised what you can do with it.
Hey, Ty.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, how was editing on a Mac Mini?
Dope. It's gonna be more. I guarantee you, if you get an M2 Mac Mini, you can get it with 8 gigs of RAM. Get it with 16, and I guarantee you won't be able to make that machine choke. I guarantee you. Unless I edit Red Raw on a freaking Mac Mini, and it'll slide right through it. It'll cut through it like butter.
Okay, got it.
It'll look me in my eye and say, I wish you would. And I run I'm talking about 6K, and it's perfect. It don't do anything. Like, it's not, I have no problems at all. Especially if you run in DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut Pro. I can't speak on Premiere Pro because I don't run it. I'm a DaVinci Final Cut type of guy. But I guarantee you, for anybody here, a Mac Mini M2 will do everything you need it to do and some. It'll punk you before you punk it. And really the only difference is you can spend $10,000 over a well-equipped $800 Mac Mini. I mean, and that's if you add a lot of stuff to it. And the only difference is your 4K timeline will edit in 90 seconds instead of 1 minute and 40 seconds. So I have a bunch of Mac Minis around that handle a lot of things. And I live and die by them. So I definitely would consider, for that price, when you're looking at the 250 range, $250 a week for 2 weeks, $500, that's a Mac Mini. And another thing too, don't forget to check your Facebook Marketplace. A lot of people are, you know, they got Mac Mini M2s or Mac Studios that they're letting go for, you know, they bought it for $500. Even if you look, don't be afraid of the M1. The M1 is nasty. Like, if you got $400 in your pocket right now, go to your Facebook Marketplace and find an M1 Mac Mini and watch it blow your socks off. Like, you are like, what in the world? I'm on an M1 right now. I edit every week on an M1. I don't care if they come out with an M6. I have no reason to get it. My M1 does everything I need it to do. And I'll run DaVinci Resolve rendering while editing on Final Cut Pro while having 12 other apps open. And I got 6 external drives connected to it. I got my Rodecaster Pro. I got everything connected to it. I got my Stream Deck right here. I don't know, you can't even see it. I got a Stream Deck. I can't even see it right now, but I got all kind of stuff connected to it. It's just, and I got it, and I'm using my iPad as a monitor, as another monitor. So I've never had a problem with my M1 Mac Mini. That's the only reason I ain't bought the 2. I think they're on 3 right now. So definitely looking at Mac Minis. Don't sleep on Mac Minis. I guarantee you, it'll handle anything you can throw at it. And I've threw 6K raw at it, 4 or 5 lines of footage playing at the same time. So I wouldn't sleep on it. And it don't even have to be a studio. It can be a regular Mac Mini. Like, they're dumb fast.
Okay. It doesn't matter, like, the monitor as well?
Nah, monitor don't. Anything HDMI. You can if you on the road, you can plug your camera monitor up to it via HDMI and work off of it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Your monitor is just, you can plug. In fact, you want a cheaper way to do it? Go to Walmart and get one of them $130 27-inch flat screens. That's 1080p. And you got a monitor. Go to Walmart and get one that's HDMI. You got a monitor. In fact, I got one. I use it for a monitor to see myself, a bigger screen that's in my office, and I can connect to it wirelessly and use it as a monitor for my M1. Because you can because it's a smart TV, so you got everything. So definitely, yeah. I'm team Mac Mini all day. Absolutely. Other than that, how was the trip, Carlos? How was everything?
Hey man, it was awesome. We did a little bit more for our client than we did last year. Every trying to push up a little bit more. So we showed them the value. Hey, this is what we could do for you. They got a new graphics package, so we incorporated the graphics into the actual program. So we put like a bug. We had an animated graphics. Um, things are a little bit tight with the concerts, so we added the lower thirds at like for the next day. We didn't get the set list until like the showtime.
Right.
So otherwise, we would have done that. We had already made the lower third, and we just put them on the A10. It was great. For those who were not here, maybe were here, I called in live from the cruise ship in the middle of the Caribbean. I think I was approaching the Dominican Republic, somewhere over there. Not Haiti, because Haiti's kind of tough right now. But the DR, we were there, and basically it was rocking the A10 Mini Pro ISO, and I had a couple of hyperdecks. We ran everything SDI. Had a Blackmagic 6K Studio, like down below, like the first deck, with an operator. We had the micro Blackmagic Micro 4K G2. They just came out the new one. That was like our wide shot of the entire venue. And then we had the ship had some PTZs that were already installed, and they suck, and they know that, and everyone knows that. And so the idea being like, hey, look, like kind of compare, like look what we brought. By the way, the studio camera looks insane compared to whatever the PTZs are. We show them, hey, this is what we could do. Let's up it next year, and let's get two of them, and then the micro up top, so we have three shots so we can use a head on from the side and a big wide for everything, and ignore that PTZ garbage, and let's stick to this. And I say it's garbage specifically because it's really old, and for this use case, it's not the best. Like what we have, it looks significantly better. So it was awesome. It was great. There were three of us. It was myself. I had a director who was running the stuff. I sometimes had to pick up camera. Sometimes I was doing like PTZ stuff, and then a third person who would swap in back and forth, and they would do the captioning overnight to have it ready for the next day. So it was great. We had an awesome time. Definitely tired, but it was super worth it. And at the end of the day, man, I was on a cruise ship for a whole week, bro. So
And
we
got
ate
paid.
good, got paid, we ate good, slept good. So no complaints.
That's what's up. That's a good place to be. Good place to be. How do you pronounce it? M Huing 36. Am I saying that right? You gotta forgive me. Detroit Public Schools.
Oh, what up, Taz? Matt. I don't know why that I guess the old name came up. But yeah, it's my last name, but it's all good. Just a quick update for you guys. So last week I told you about the bakery, right?
That's
So
right. Give them a
the
little recap.
bakery.
Give them a quick recap
Oh,
for
my
those.
bad. Yeah. So bakery. I went in there with my kids, mentioned that I'm a videographer, have a business. They went behind the scene footage. So we got the green light for that. They want to send me over, I guess, some idea of what they're kind of looking for. I've already started like, little shot deck and stuff like that for what I could do, because I'm kind of waiting for them to kind of send it over, but I figure I'll send something over on my end to kind of get the ball rolling, hopefully. So that's good news. I guess that's the first win there. So that's good. The proposal, I got an email the very next day. So I hit him up, but then he actually sent me the email, and he said that it wasn't in the budget right now because it's the slow season. I said, okay, so what is there, possibilities for, lower the price or what have you, or different options? I should say that. And then they said that at a later time they want to do something. So I don't know what you guys normally do in that scenario. I said let's try to do something small and then go from there. So what do you recommend?
Whenever I send a price, did you send it structured? Make it so they can uncheck something. Okay, let's uncheck something and let's start here. Because my thing is this, and this is what I've learned just in business and being around successful business guys. The slow period is when you want to market the most. The slow period is when you want to turn on marketing. It's only slow for those who wait for the season, the natural people of the season to walk in the door. But successful businesses market more during the slow periods. because market share shrink up and they want more of that market share. So this is a
Mhm.
time to be aggressive. And
Got it.
the good thing is when you are in a niche and you work with, multiple shops, it's easy to say, well, these guys over here are still marketing and it's not slow over there. It's still a line over there. You have the ability to kind of bounce that off, the competitor off of them. But in the beginning, I mean, you can go walk into a Krispy Kreme. If there's a line out the door and this baker don't have a line, there's a reason why. It's because we know of
Mhm.
Krispy Kreme. It's not just that their donuts are better and they got some good donuts, but it's that we know of them. So this baker should be aggressive right now. Right now is not the
I would
time not to be aggressive.
Right.
But
Yeah, that was for the bar. So that was for that mobile bar I mentioned.
oh, that's
So
right. Yep.
so I told him, I was like, yeah, well, this would be a great time for you guys to kind of wrap it up because wedding season, and that's when they kind of have their big, I guess, push. But I was like, well, get content on now because they have a decent following online, but they don't really have much updated, testimonials. They don't
How
have
are they?
anything.
How are they a mobile bar and it wasn't busy for St. Patty's Day? How are they a mobile bar and they're not busy for Cinco de Mayo? How are they a mobile? You know what I'm saying? Like these are the questions I
Yeah.
have for them. Like, yo, you're missing money. How are
Mhm.
you a mobile bar and you're not busy every weekend? Who
Right.
you know what I mean? Most people I've just started hearing about mobile bars. You're not busy because people don't want you. You're busy because people don't know you exist.
Mhm.
We need to get more people. But it takes you going in there as the subject matter expert to,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Your doctor can tell you you need to lose weight. You know what I'm saying? Your doctor can say it without even flinching. Hey man,
Mhm.
your knee hurt because your gut hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
you don't even choke. You just be like, you just look at them like, because you know you're right. Well, at least I do. I'm chubby, but you know what I'm saying? So you can't even say nothing. Anybody else, you would be ready to roast them. You looking at his shoes, you lining them up like, but you can't roast him because he's your doctor and you're right. And he's right. So,
Mhm.
once you go in with present yourself as the subject matter expert, you can kind of poke them a little bit and say, hey, where was you at St. Patty's Day? Because I seen a ton of video of people getting sloppy drunk with green beers. Why y'all
Mhm.
wasn't out? Do you think that has nothing to do with the time of year? People just don't know you exist. We need to change that because that should have been one of your biggest weekends, your biggest times of the year.
Yeah.
In Dallas, they party like crazy on St. Patty's Day. It's crazy, and Cinco de Mayo too. So they party on May the 4th be with you. They party.
Mm.
You should be everywhere. You should be
Traffic,
selling.
traffic was crazy for me trying to meet you out there in
Yeah,
bar. It was crazy.
I'm thinking of every drinking. You should be serving. What city you in?
Charlotte.
Charlotte? I don't know
Yeah.
what's legal out there. I don't know if they should be selling green beers and 420. I'm thinking of every holiday period. And I'm like, you need to be, as a mobile bar, you need to be somewhere, somebody's event every
That's what I'm
weekend.
saying. I was asking the guy, I was like, how come you don't have events or even posts, kind of highlighting, said event or what's coming up? And they're like, oh, well, we're trying to get there, but we don't really have I guess, the time or something. I'm just like, buddy, come on, man.
They should
It's
be
not
at
that
every
serious.
wedding. They should be at every corporate event. They should be everywhere. Liquor is welcome everywhere.
Man,
Mhm.
it's March Madness.
March,
They
oh,
they
you
shouldn't
right.
even be talking to you right now.
They should be too busy. You absolutely
Oof.
right.
Right.
So it's tons of events they should be at that there. And I'm telling you, go in and slap them in the face with all of this. You missing this, you missing that, because people don't know about you. We need to get you out here quick. That's why but a lot of people think that they'll just hope that things change for them. They won't do anything. And you have to talk about people don't know you exist. You should be booked for all of these events. If a
Right.
if a bar if people at a bar, you should be booked. And people are always at a bar.
Mhm. True.
So
Okay.
there's a lot of nice outdoor weddings that are at venues that don't have liquor. We should be there.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And then last thing that before I leave, that the bakery I mentioned, they only want behind the scene footage, and I asked them the why they want that. They told me that pretty much just to kind of highlight their new product that's coming out. They sell merch too, so I was like, oh, I kind of go, do you guys need anyone to kind of film something for your merch coming out soon, whatever. And they go, well, not just yet. So down the road. So pretty much, I guess it's a one-time, I guess a one-off maybe. But I guess hopefully, you know, the start the relationship maybe. So I guess we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I would. So do a bakery like they do you. Film behind the scenes shot and give them one 30-second, well-edited vertical video. Just give them one. Just drop one in there. Just like they do when I go get donuts, they give me a few extra donut holes. Drop one in there just to see what happens.
Sure. Okay.
They may want more. They may want to keep doing it. I would, you know, I don't mind doing a little extra sometimes for a client to get things going. And what does it take you 12 minutes to edit a 30-second vertical video? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely do that.
Okay, bet. I respect, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, anytime. Let me close out, guys, and then we're gonna go to the rest of the accountability meeting. So sit tight real quick. Let me talk to the audience. Everybody that's watching, we do this every single Wednesday with all of our gold members where we hold each other accountable. We talk about our wins, our lessons, how to get better, how to grow. And if you're not a part of that, you're missing it. We do it every single week. So everybody that's watching, I will definitely see y'all in the next video. And if you watch later, you may see some shorts or some snippets from this, but just know that you missed the best part that we're about to get into. See, people quiet because they don't want to, you know, these are family affairs. We don't want to pull all our business out here in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So it's about to get wild. See, it's a few people that came on camera real quick. I ain't gonna say nothing, but everybody getting on camera right now is because they know we're about to switch to the what's the name, you know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna throw them under the bus because everybody jumping on. But anyway, for those that are watching, I appreciate your support. I'll see you in the next video.
You've been listening to Content and Cash, a FlashFilm Academy podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and go to our webpage at www.flashfilmacademy.com.